Hey everyone, here on the channel I use AI to break down complex topics like politics with no bias or emotion, and without further ado, let's get straight to the point. I'm going to ask AI to track every single law that Donald Trump has broken since getting back into office, what exactly he did, how he broke that law, and what ChatGPT has to say about it. So the concept is really quite simple, but before we get into the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel right now. Hit that like button if you enjoy videos like this, and turn on notifications so that you never miss any new videos that I publish each and every week. Thanks in advance, and now let's get into the chat. And here we are. Now I want ChatGPT to do some deep research, which may take a little while, in order to make sure that everything's fully up to date and tracks every single time that Trump has broken the law since January 20th. And now it needs a quick clarification, so let's answer that, and here we go. Alright, I'm not gonna wait, let's just fast forward to when the research was finished. Alright, the research is done, and now ChatGPT is ready to give us all of the details. But first, I just want the number. How many laws has Trump broken so far? 11. Got it. Now, ChatGPT needs to be clear, straightforward, unbiased. Call a spade, no sugarcoating, no fluff, you know the drill. So, let's start with the first one, and here it is. Number 1. Mass deportations via 1798 Alien Enemies Act. What he did. Trump pulled out a 200-year-old law meant for wartime enemies and used it to kick out Venezuelan migrants with no hearings, no lawyers, no nothing. He called it a national emergency and told ICE to start removing people without giving them a fair shot. In at least one case, his administration deported someone after a judge ordered them not to. That's not a mistake, that's defiance. Violation. This was a full-on violation of the Constitution. Due process isn't optional. Every person in the US has the right to it, citizen or not. Trump didn't just skip a few steps, he steamrolled the law and ignored the courts. Deporting someone in direct defiance of a judge, that's crossing a legal line, plain and simple. He didn't test the limits, he broke them, and the courts made that clear. Okay, so ChatGPT began with deporting Venezuelan migrants, and yeah, that move definitely belongs in this video. Alright, let's see what's next. Number 2. Ending birthright citizenship by executive order. What he did. Trump signed an executive order trying to end birthright citizenship for babies born in the US to undocumented immigrants. He ordered federal agencies not to recognize those children as US citizens. No law passed, no constitutional amendment, just a pen and a blatant attempt to rewrite the 14th Amendment by himself. Violation? This goes straight against the Constitution. The 14th Amendment is crystal clear. If you're born in the US, you're a citizen. That's not a gray area. It's settled law for over 125 years. Trump tried to cancel that with an executive order, something he has zero authority to do. Multiple courts instantly blocked it, calling it likely unconstitutional. This wasn't just an overreach, it was a direct assault on one of the most fundamental rights in America, and yes, he knew exactly what he was doing. Oh yeah, he definitely knew. So, thanks to the courts, and now let's move on to the next one. Number 3. Federal Voter Restrictions Order. What he did. Trump signed an executive order forcing states to require proof of citizenship to register to vote and banned counting mail-in ballots that arrive after Election Day, even if they were mailed on time. He also threatened to cut federal funding to states that didn't follow his rules. No law from Congress, just raw pressure from the top. Violation? This was an attack on the election system, plain and simple. The Constitution gives states, not the president, the power to run elections. Trump tried to hijack that by executive order, directly violating the Elections Clause and the National Voter Registration Act. Judges blocked key parts immediately. Even the Justice Department wouldn't defend it. This wasn't about integrity, it was about control. Trump tried to rewrite voting rules on his own, and the courts had to slam the brakes before he did real damage. Alright, well, I gotta say, the courts are really holding the line quite well. So, yeah, not all hope is lost. Okay, now, let's check out the next one. Number 4. Freezing Congress-approved funds. What he did. Trump ordered federal agencies to freeze billions in spending that had already been approved by Congress, including clean energy grants, public health programs, and infrastructure projects. In some cases, the money had already been committed. He claimed it was part of a government efficiency push. No new law, no congressional vote, just a sweeping hold. Violation? This was a straight-up power grab. The Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse. Once they pass a law funding something, the president can't just block it because he doesn't like it. That violates the Appropriations Clause and the Impoundment Control Act. Trump didn't delay spending, he tried to cancel it. Multiple judges blocked the freezes, calling them illegal. He tried to override the entire budget process by executive order, and the court shut him down hard. This wasn't fiscal discipline, it was a legal breach, clear as day. And here we go, yet another attempt by Donald Trump to break the law. I mean, what are we even talking about at this point? It's kinda surreal, and the worst part is that this is only the beginning. Anyway, let's see what's next. Number 5. Mass firings via Doge office. What he did. Trump created a Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, put Elon Musk in charge, and started firing thousands of federal workers across agencies. No due process, no proper reviews, just mass terminations. On top of that, Musk's team got access to sensitive government systems, including Treasury data, without going through normal clearance or oversight. Violation? This was a 2-for-1 legal disaster. First, those firings violated civil service protections. Most federal employees can't be fired without cause and a fair process. Second, giving an unelected billionaire's team access to government systems likely violated federal privacy and procurement laws. Multiple judges stepped in. Some blocked Musk's team from accessing sensitive data. Others ordered employees reinstated. Trump didn't just streamline government, he bulldozed legal safeguards and handed federal power to his friends. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about you. By the way, I've got a video where I ask both ChatGPT and Elon's own AI, Grok, to rate how effective the Doge program really was. That one's honestly mind-blowing, so be sure to check that out after we're done here and find out what scores the AIs gave it. Now, let's move on to the next one, and here it is. Number 6. Stripping union rights from federal workers. What he did. Trump signed an executive order that stripped union rights from tens of thousands of federal employees across more than 30 agencies. He claimed it was for national security, but the real goal was to gut collective bargaining rights. Agencies were told to stop honoring union contracts and cease all negotiations immediately. Violation? This was a direct hit on federal labor law. The president can't just erase union rights with a pen, especially for agencies that have nothing to do with national security. Courts have ruled before that this kind of blanket move doesn't hold up. A federal judge blocked the order, calling it politically motivated and likely illegal. This wasn't about safety, it was about silencing dissent and punishing opposition. Got it. Again, big thanks to the judge on that one. Now let's move on to the next. Number 7. Gutting disability services at SSA. What he did. Trump's administration slashed staffing at the Social Security Administration, hitting offices that serve people with disabilities the hardest. Wait times exploded, interpreters were cut, and people needing help couldn't get it. In some cases, benefits were delayed or lost entirely. It was all framed as efficiency, but the impact was brutal. Violation? This likely violates the Rehabilitation Act, which requires equal access to federal services for people with disabilities. When basic help is removed and the system becomes impossible to use, that's not mismanagement, that's breaking the law. Advocacy groups took it to court, pointing to real people harmed by the cuts. There's no legal or moral cover for shutting the door on disabled Americans just to make a budget spreadsheet look cleaner. It crossed a legal line, and they're being called out for it. And just think about it. He tried to do all of this in just the first 100 days. It's kind of scary when you realize that we've got over 1,300 more to go. All right, let's take a quick break from all of that mess, and by total coincidence, right now happens to be the perfect time to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I mean, seriously, if you're enjoying the content and you want more of it, let YouTube know by doing those two simple things. It truly helps us out a lot. All right, thanks so much, and now let's keep going. Let's see the next law that Trump broke, and here we go. Number 8. Transgender military and prison bans. What he did. Trump brought back a ban on transgender people serving in the military and ordered federal prisons to house inmates based on their sex assigned at birth, not their gender identity. He also backed efforts to cut off gender-affirming healthcare for transgender minors by pressuring states and tweaking federal guidelines. Violation? This is a straight-up equal protection issue. You can't single out any entire group and strip away rights just because you don't like them. The military ban was already ruled unconstitutional years ago, and Trump brought it back anyway. Same with forcing trans inmates into unsafe prison placements. It's been challenged in court before for violating civil rights. Lower courts pushed back fast and blocked parts of these policies, but the Supreme Court later allowed the military ban to take effect while legal challenges continue. No real national security argument held up. It was clear discrimination and everyone saw it. All right, got it. And without wasting time, let's get to the next one. Number 9. Eliminating federal diversity and inclusion (DEI) programs. What he did. Trump ordered every federal agency to dismantle their DEI programs, cancel trainings, scrap offices, stop grants tied to diversity goals. He also forced outside organizations receiving federal funds to certify they weren't running discriminatory DEI initiatives or risk losing funding. The goal was clear: erase anything tied to race, gender, or equity. Violation? This runs straight into the Civil Rights Act and the First Amendment. DEI programs aren't illegal, they're often required to comply with anti-discrimination laws. Forcing agencies and private groups to abandon them or face punishment isn't protecting fairness, it's government overreach. Several judges stepped in and blocked these mandates, warning they likely violate both civil rights law and free speech protections. You can't weaponize federal funding to push a political agenda, especially when it means rolling back legal protections. That's not reform, it's coercion dressed up as policy. You know what I realize? Half the country would probably see this list as a good thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you watching are not in that camp, but just in case anyone disagrees with what they're hearing, let me know in the comments, because I'm sure that things are going to get heated down there. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Number 10. Targeting law firms by executive order. What he did. Trump signed executive orders that directly targeted specific law firms, not for breaking the law, but for taking cases against him or being politically aligned with Democrats. He ordered federal agencies to cut ties with them, investigate their hiring practices, and deny them access to future government contracts. This wasn't a general policy shift, it was personal. He named the firms, singled them out, and tried to use the federal government to punish them. Violation? That's a First Amendment violation, no question. Law firms, like any private organization, have the right to represent clients, speak freely, and challenge the government without fear of retaliation. When the president uses executive power to punish his legal critics, it crosses a constitutional line. Multiple judges stepped in and blocked the orders, warning they were likely illegal and politically motivated. This move had nothing to do with governing. It was about using the White House to settle personal scores. Alright, so that was the 10th one, which means we've got just one left. Well, for now anyway. And let's see what it is. Number 11. Imposing tariffs without congressional approval. What he did. Trump slapped new tariffs on a wide range of foreign imports, not using national security or trade enforcement laws, but through a sweeping executive order with no clear legal backing. Congress didn't authorize it, he just declared it necessary and moved ahead, hitting everything from cars to electronics with massive import taxes. Violation. The Constitution gives Congress, not the President, the power to regulate trade and impose tariffs. While past presidents have used delegated authority in narrow situations, Trump bypassed those rules. Business groups and legal scholars called it unconstitutional, and multiple lawsuits were filed. One federal judge has already questioned the legality, but hasn't blocked it yet. This wasn't a targeted trade policy. It was the president unilaterally rewriting economic law. When a president tries to raise taxes on his own, that's not tough negotiation, that's a legal boundary being crossed. And that's pretty much it. Now, let me know in the comments if ChatGPT missed anything and what you think about this list. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the links in the description to support the channel directly. After that, click on this video where I actually asked AI how to stop Donald Trump, and it gave a plan that you definitely need to know. Alright, thanks for watching, click on the pop-up, and I'll be waiting for you there.